वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय Text 43. Creation of the Kumaras and the others. Text 43. Vaikhanasa Valekilyo Dumbara Pena Pavane Nyase Kuti Chaka Purvam Bhavado Hamsanishkriyo.
Translation. The four divisions of retired life are the Vaikhanas, Valakilas, Udambaras, and Fenapas. The four divisions of the renounced order of life are the Kutichakas, Bhavodas, Hamsas, and Nishkriyas. All these were manifested from Brahma.
Anviksikhi traye varta dandanitis tathaiva cha evam vyahritas yaskasan pranavo he ashyadadrata.
The science of logical argument, the Vedic goals of life, and also law and order, moral codes, and the celebrated hymns Bhu, Bhuva, and Swaha all became manifested from the mouths of Brahma, and the Pranava Omkara was manifested from his heart.
Tasyogni asil lomabhyo gayatri cha tvacho vibhuha tvishtum mam sat snuto nashta jagate astrana prajapati.
Thereafter, the art of literary expression, Unsik, was generated from the hairs of the body of the Almighty Prajapati. The principal Vedic hymn, Gayatri, was generated from the skin, Tristap from the flesh, Anustup from the veins, and Jagati from the bones of the Lord of the living entities.
Majayatapa Patir Utpana Brahati Pranato Bhavet.
The art of writing verse, Pankti, became manifested from the bone marrow, and that of Brahati, another type of verse, was generated from life breath of the Lord of the living entities.
Sparshastasya bhavacha chetva swaro deha udarata usmanam indriyani ahur antastha balam atmanah swara sapta viharena bhavanti sma prajapati.
Brahma's soul was manifested as the touch alphabets, his body as the vowels, his senses as sibilant alphabets, his strength as the intermediate alphabets, and his sensual activities as the 7 notes of music.
Shabda Brahmatmanastasya Vyaktatvamana Varaha Brahma Bhati Vitato Nana Shakte Upabrimhita.
Brahma is the personal representation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead as the source of all transcendental sound and is therefore above the conception of manifested and unmanifested Brahma. is the complete form of the absolute truth and is invested with multifarious energies.
Tato param upadaya sasargaya mano dadde.
Thereafter, Brahma accepted another body, in which sex life was not forbidden, and thus he engaged himself in the matter of further creation.
Rishinam bhuri viryanam api sargam avistratam jatva taddaryadaye bhuhyas chintayam asakurava.
O son of the Kurus, when Brahma saw that in spite of the presence of sages of great potency, there was no sufficient increase in population, he seriously began to consider how the population could be increased.
Aho abhutam etanme vyapratasyapi nityada nahi ehanti prajanonam devam atra vigatakam.
Brahma thought to himself, alas, it is wonderful that in spite of being scattered all over, there is still insufficient population throughout the universe. There is no other cause for this misfortune but destiny.
Text 52. Evam yukta krutastya devam chavek satastada kashyarupam abudveda yatkayam abhichakshate.
While he was absorbed in contemplation and was observing the supernatural power, two other forms were generated from his body. They are still celebrated as the body of Brahma.
Tabhayam rupa vibhagyaham mithunam samapadyatha.
The two newly separated bodies united together in a sexual relationship.
Yastu tatra paman sabun manoha swayambhuva svarata tatyashik chatura pakhya mahihyasya mahatmana.
Out of them, one who had the male form became known as the Manu named Swayambhu, and the woman became known as Satarupa, the queen of the great soul Manu.
Tada mithuna dharmena prajahe idham babu vire.
Thereafter, by sex indulgence, they gradually increased generations of population one after another.
Sachapi saturopayam panchapat yanya chitnat priyavratanna pado trishyakansascha bharata akutir devahutischa prasutir iti sadhamaha.
O son of Bharata, in due course of time, he, Manu, began in Satrupa 5 children, 2 sons, Priyavrata and Uttanpada. and 3 daughters, Akuti, Devahuti, and Prasuti.
Akutim ruchaye pradat kardhamayatu madhyamam dakshayadat prashutim cha yatha apuritam jagat.
The father, Manu, handed over his first daughter, Akuti, to the sage Ruchi, the middle daughter, Devhuti, to the sage Kardama, and the youngest, Prashuti, to Daksha. From them, all the world filled with population. Hare Krishna.
Thus, in the Bhaktivedanta verses of the third canto, 12th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Creation of the Kumaras and Others. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Vanita Mataji and Pushpa Mataji. Very beautiful recitations of Srimad Bhagavatam. Very nice, all divine. Thank you so much. Okay, so we shall move to daily Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay, so before we enter into Srimad Bhagavatam, first we offer our humble obeisances to Acharyas, Gurus, and Srila Prabhupada, Vaishnavas, and Krishna and Radharani. Okay. Oh. अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांशं श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश। हे कृष्ण करुणसिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तु ते। तप्तकाञ्चन गौरङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिविकासस्वामिन् इति नामिनि। नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिन् इति नामिनि। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणि निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणि। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। शृणुतां स्वकथाः कृष्णः पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तनः हृद्यन्तस्त्वह्य भद्राणि विदुनोति सुहृसतां। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवति उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। एतेषां सकलाः पुंसः कृष्णस्तु भगवान् स्वयम् इन्द्रादिव्याकुलं लोकं मृडयन्ति युगे युगे इदं भागवतं नाम पुराणं ब्रह्म संहितम् उत्तमश्लोकचरितं चकार भगवान् ऋषिः निःश्रेयसाय लोकधन्यं स्वस्तये नमः कृष्णे स्वदामोपगत धर्मज्ञानादिभिः सह खलु न शुषामेष पुराणार्को अधुनोदितः कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः नमः पङ्कजनाभाय नमः पङ्कजमालिने नमः पङ्कजनेत्राय नमस्ते पङ्कजाङ्ग्रये अथ विश्वेश विश्वात्मनि विश्वमूर्ते स्वकेषु मे स्नेहपाशमिमं चिन्तिदुषं पाण्डुषुरुष्णिषु त्वयि मेनन्य विषया मतिर्मदपते सकृत् रतिमुद्वाहतरद्ध गङ्गेव भूमुदन्वति श्रीकृष्ण कृष्ण सख विष्णु शुभाव निद्रग्राजन्यवंशदहनानपवर्गवीर्य गोविन्द गोद्विजसुराटहरावतार योगेश्वर किल गुरो भगवन् नमस्ते योगेश्वर किल गुरो भगवन् नमस्ते योगेश्वर किल गुरो भगवन् नमस्ते तुलयामलवेनापि न स्वर्गं न पुनर्भवं भगवत्सङ्गसङ्गस्य मज्जानं किमुत शशः पुनश्च भूयाद् भगवत्यनन्ते रतिः प्रसङ्गश तदाश्रयेषु महस्तु यां यामुपयां सृष्टिं मैत्रसु सर्वत्र नमो द्विजेभ्यः नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्यनामिने गौरत्विषे नमः मूकं कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यमीश्वरम् श्रीचैतन्यप्रभुं वन्दे बालोऽपि यदनुग्रहात् तरेन्नानामतग्राः व्याप्तुं सिद्धान्तसागरं श्रीचैतन्यप्रभुं वन्दे यत्पादा श्रीवीरितः सङ्गृणाति आकरवातात् अज्ञः सिद्धान्तसन्मनीम् ॐ नमो भगवते राधा गोविन्दाय नमः हरे कृष्ण Okay, thank you so much for waiting. Okay, I shall share my screen. Okay, so in the Srimad Bhagavatam, so here Shri Maitreya Rishi is speaking to Vidura about the creation beginning from the Kumaras. So how Brahma has been creating different kinds of rishis and all the knowledge and everything from his faces and from different kinds of from different limbs of his body. So within that sequence in the last session, so Brahma was creating the art of writing verse. Pankti became manifested from the bone marrow, and that of Bruhati, another type of verse, was generated from the life breath of the Lord of the living entities. So these are all coming from the Brahma. So within that sequence, we shall move to the next shloka. So today we are covering the shlokas 47, 48, 49, 50 and 51, 5 shlokas. Okay, so we shall see. These are just the different limbs of knowledge is being created for the entire society and human beings, how they will take the opportunity and progress for their spiritual elevation, spiritual progress. So this is vast. So sometimes we may see simply chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, which is prescribed in this age. But if we see, there are different kinds of musics and different kinds of arts. Each and every person has got a different talent and different dances and kirtans and uh, instruments as well. Likewise, everything is to be utilized in the devotional service only for the samsiddhir haritoshanam. So today, so Brahma is creating few more things like so from Brahma, soul was manifested as the touch alphabets, his body as the vowels, his senses as the sibilant alphabets, his strength as the intermediate alphabets, and his sensual activities as the seven notes of music. Okay, so we shall start with the reciting this shloka. Here in the Srimad Bhagavatam, third canto, 12th chapter, verse number 47. स्पर्शः तस्य अभवत् जीवः स्वरोदेह उदाहृतम् ऊष्मानम् इन्द्रियाणि आहुः अन्तस्ता बलमात्मनः स्वराः सप्त विहारेण भवन्ति स्म प्रजापतेः स्पर्शस्तस्य अभवज्जीवः Sparsha. So sparsha is the set of letters from ka to ma. So ka to ma is the kakka gaghanya chacha jajhaini tatta dadhana tatta dadhana pappa bhabha ma. So likewise these are the called sparsh alphabets. The set of letters from ka to ma. This is the sparshas, and tasya, his abhavat, he became jivaha, the soul. So that means from his soul he is creating. So it is an Brahma soul was manifested as the touch alphabets. This is the sparsh alphabets. Sparshastasya abhavad jivaha. Swarodeha buddhakrita. And swaraha. Swara is the vowels. Vowels are the, there are 13 vowels in the Sanskrit, and in English there are 5 vowels, and in different languages like 16, some like that they are there. In the Sanskrit we will see that one in the purport. Swaraha is the vowels. Deha Buddhahrita. Deha is his body, Buddhahrita are expressed. So that is from his body these vowels have been created. His body has the vowels. Voshmanam Indriyani Ahuhu. Vushmanam is the letters Sa, Sha, Sa, and Ha. These are the Vushmanam. The letters Sa, this is Sa. So on top of yes, there is a small tick on it. It is called Sa. And next, Sa, this is Sha. This is because under yes there is a dot. It is Sha. And it is plain yes and A, it is normal Sa. And Ha. This is Sa, Sha, Sa, and Ha. These are Voshmanam. Voshmanam Indriyani Ahuhu. So these are all created from the senses. So here he senses as the sibilant alphabets. Sibilant alphabets. Next is the Antastha Balam Atmanaha. Antastha. These are the set of letters to known Ya, Ra, La, and Va. These are Antasthaha. Balam Atmanaha. They are the energy of Brahma. So his strength as the intermediate alphabets. Antasthaha. Next, Swara Sapta Viharena. Swaraha Sapta Viharena. These are the swaras. Swaras are the music. They are the 7 notes. Sapta Viharena, by sensual activities. Swaraha Sapta Viharena. Bhavanti sma Prajapatehe. And they became manifested. Bhavanti sma Prajapatehe. Of the Lord of the living entities. Lord Brahma is because he is creating all the progeny, so that's why he is called Prajapatehe, the Lord of the living entities. So this is Shpastastasya Abhavad Jivaha Swarodeha Udahrita Ushmanam Indriyanyahuhu Antastha Bhalamatmanaha Swaraha Sapta Viharena Bhavantisma Prajapatehe. The translation for this shloka: Brahma's soul was manifested as the touch alphabets, and his body as the vowels, his sense as the sibilant alphabets, his strength as the intermediate alphabets, and his sensual activities as the 7 notes of music. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. In Sanskrit, there are 13 vowels and 35 consonants. The vowels are A, I, U, Ru, A, I, Ru. This is A, I, A, I, O, Au, and the consonants are, so this is A, I, U, Ru, A, I, O, Au. What is this letter? It is looks like L. Okay, Au, and the consonants are Kakka, Gagha, etc. These are the consonants. Among us, the consonants, the first 25 letters are called the sparshas. So there are all, these are like kakka gaghanya, chacha jajhani, tatta dhana, tatta dhana, papa bhabhama. So the ma there 25 letters are called the sparshas. There are also 4 antastas of the ushmas. They are called uh, talavya, mudhanya, and dantya. So these the musical notes are sa, ri, ga, ma, pa, dha, ni. So that pa is missing. So sarigama padani. And all these sound vibrations are originally called Shabda Brahma or spiritual sound. It is said, therefore, that Brahma was created in the Mahakalpa as the incarnation of spiritual sound. Incarnation of the spiritual sound. The Vedas are spiritual sound, and therefore there is no need of material interpretation for the sound vibration of the Vedic literature. The Vedas should be vibrated as they are, although they are symbolically represented with letters which are known to us materially. In the ultimate issue, there is nothing material because everything has its origin in the spiritual world. The material manifestation is therefore called illusion in the proper sense of the term. For those who are realized souls, there is nothing but spirit. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So here in this purport, this is a straightforward, it's not big philosophy. So there are 13 words in the Sanskrit. Sometimes this is the Sanskrit is the mother of all languages. Some different languages, for example, in Telugu language, there are 16 alphabets, all 16 vowels there. So there are o, au, aha, something like that. There are 16. But here, and consonants, some of them contains language 36, in Sanskrit 35. And Prabhupada is mentioning the sparsha letters, they are called from ka to ma, and then antastas. These are the sha, sa, ha. This is the antastas, and then voshmas, and they are called talavya, mudhanya, and dantiya. So when we are learning the music, then we will see all these different terminologies, talavya, mudhanya, and dantya. Then musical notes are sari, gama, padani. And this is again combinations of the, if you are trying to learn, in the YouTube, there is a very beautiful learning of the music. So I think there are different sessions. If you try to practice sari, gama, pada, nisa, so likewise, very beautiful things they will come. That is, music is the way of connecting to the Supreme Personality of Godhead very easily. Kirtanadeva Krishnasya Mukta Sangha Param Rajet. Kirtanadeva. So to glorify Krishna. So in such a one can be easily free out from these material attachments. So these notes, when we are learning these things, sometimes we say this kind of music in the South India, many kinds of temples they accommodate. This is Akanda Sankirtana, 24 hours a day. For example, in the Tirumala Tirupati, in the Lord Venkateshwara's temple and the hills, 7 hills. Akanda Sankirtana, it goes on 24 hours. All the time, some people are engaged to sing. So just by singing, they do not have much philosophy also. Just by singing, it is very easy way to connect the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Supreme Power. So all these sound vibrations are originally called Shabda Brahma. So Lord is Bhagavan Shabda Gocharaha. Lord can be understood through the sound vibrations. And we glorify the Lord through our sound by glorifying with the different kirtans and bhajans and chanting of mantra. So here originally called Shabda Brahma, or the spiritual sound. It is said therefore that Brahma was created in the Mahakalpa as the incarnation of spiritual sound. So this is in the Mahakalpa as the incarnation of spiritual sound. And then further, I don't have much depth in this one, about Mahakalpa. There are again, each day is called one Kalpa. So we have got Padma Kalpa, Brahma Kalpa, and Varaha Kalpa, like that. And Mahakalpa is also one of it. So in that Kalpa, the incarnation of spiritual sound. So like where Brahma was created like that. And the Vedas are spiritual sound. And therefore there is no need of material interpretation for the sound vibration of the Vedic literature. So this way, for example, in the childhoods, we used to learn some of the shlokas of the Bhagavad Gita. It was in the natural language, in the mother tongue. So I was not understanding just whether it is Telugu or Sanskrit, but it is natural. And later on, after 15 years of, so they said it is Sanskrit, but I, until that point, I didn't know. So it is, I was considering it is just mother tongue. So likewise, when there is Bhagavad Gita is going on, we straight away understand what is what. So there is no need of material interpretation for the song. Straight away we understand when the Sanskrit, the shlokas, it is just only usage. If you are using these words in day to day, automatically one can understand easily. And the Vedas should be vibrated as they are, although they are symbolically represented with letters which are known to us materially. So these are called Shrutis. We have to hear these Shrutis from the bona fide spiritual succession, although they are symbolically represented with letters which are known to us materially. So here we have got this the scripting language, scripts or literature or lipi. So this is Vyasadeva has given to us, because in this age of Kali, Drishtva Pumso Alpamedasaha, he has seen these are very less intelligent people. And then he has given all these alphabets and everything to us. So they should be vibrated as they are. And then in the ultimate issue, there is nothing material, because everything has its origin in the spiritual world. This is Urdhvamulam Adashakam. Urdhvamulam Adashakam Ashwadham Prahuravyayam. So this is mentioned like Ashwadha, like a comparison with the Ashwadha tree. And everything has got its source in the upper planetary system, in the spiritual world. In the spiritual world, of course, and all these banyan trees in the material world, starting from the Brahma Loka down to Patala Loka. So there is nothing, it is the very high vision when the material manifestation is therefore called illusion in the proper sense of term. For those who are realized souls, there is nothing but spirit. So when the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he is creating everything. So in the Purusha Sukta, it is said that three parts of the creation is the spiritual world. One part is the this material creation. But actually, because the Lord is all his body is spiritual, his planets are spiritual. So here, just a part of it is called material. But of course, there is material is a illusion. But actually, everything is of the spirit. This is the realized by, for those who are realized souls, there is nothing but only the spirit, everything, because Lord enters into Andantarastam Paramanu Jayantarastam. He enters into each and every atom. So that means everything is spirit. So there is no material, everything is a illusion. So this is called, therefore is called illusion in proper sense of the term. In reality, it is everything is spirit. So if whoever sees all the spirit, wherever he sees either material or living entities, everything, if he sees the spirit, then the Lord will be very pleased. In such a way, he will be eligible to enter into our Brahma Nirvana Murchati. So that is, he will attain that peace, that highest happiness. Okay, so that is here Brahma is creating different kinds of these alphabets and notes, music notes, like that, vowels and consonants. Spashah tasya abhvajjivaha swarodeha udahuritaha. Voshmanam indriyanyahuhu antastabhalam atmanah. Swaraha sapta viharena bhavanti sma prajapatehe. They're all been created from the Lord Brahma's different limbs. Okay, so we shall move to the next shloka. What else Brahma is creating? So in this next shloka, so here, because Brahma is creating everything, so that's why he is also representative of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that's why he is beyond manifested and unmanifested nature. And also all different kinds of energies have been invested in Lord Brahma. Likewise, Maitreya, she is saying, शब्द शब्द ब्रह्मात्मनः तस्य व्यक्त अव्यक्तात्मनः परहं ब्रह्म अवभाति विततो नानाशक्ति उपबृंहितः शब्द ब्रह्म आत्मनः तस्य शब्द ब्रह्म is the transcendental sound atmanah of the Lord tasya his. So here Brahma is the representative of the Supreme Lord. And tasya his, and the vyakta avyakta atmanah paraham of the vyaktaha is the manifested, avyaktaha of the unmanifested, avyakta atmanah and of the unmanifested, paraha is transcendental. So here, because the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he is the transcendental to all this material nature. But here, because Brahma is the representative of the Supreme Lord, so he is also beyond this. Vyakta avyaktatmanah paraham. Brahma avbhati vitato. Brahma is the absolute, avbhati, completely manifested, vitataha, distributing. So Brahma, he has completely manifested, distributing Nana Shakti Upabrumhitaha. He was invested with multifarious energies. Nana is the multifarious Shakti energies Upabrumhitaha. He was invested with. Brahma Bhati Vidito Nana Shakti Upabrumhitaha. So translation for this shloka. Brahma is the personal representation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead as the source of transcendental sound, and is therefore above the conception of manifested and unmanifested. Brahma is the complete form of the absolute truth and is invested with multifarious energies. So this statement, even the Lord, when he has appeared in the Daksha Yajna, during that time, he says one statement to Daksha Prajapati, saying that he was using insulting words to Lord Shiva. So in corresponding to that, later on he was forgiven by Lord Shiva. So at that time, that yajna was completed. Later on, the Lord has appeared with his 8 hands. So when in his very beautiful form, it is very Shamo Hiranyarashno Arka Kirita Justo Neelalaka Brahmara Mandita Kundhalasya Shankab Chakra Sarachapa Gada. So likewise, the 8 different kinds of instruments in 8 hands. Vyagraihi Hiranmaya Bhujariva Karnikaraha. Vyagraihi Hiranmaya Bhujairiva Karnikaraha. Just like a lotus flower, his face was like a Karnikara and 8 hands like 8 petals. So beautifully he was exhibited. So at the time he says to Daksha, saying that, oh, Daksha, there is no difference between myself, Lord Shiva and Brahma. We are all here for different parts of the creation, maintenance, and destruction. Though I am the Supreme Personality of Godhead, I maintain, but still for the creative, for this executing these functionalities, creation and maintenance and destroying, there is no difference between us. So he mentions that statement. So here Brahma is the complete form of the absolute truth and he is invested with multifarious energies. So purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The post of Brahma is the highest responsible post within the universe, and it is offered to the most perfect personality of the universe. Sometimes the Supreme Personality of Godhead has to become Brahma when there is no suitable living beings to occupy the post. So this to occupy the post, a living entity has to go through 100 lifetimes following all the dharma, religious principles perfectly. Then he will become Brahma. So that means 100 lifetimes. Then he can occupy the Brahma's post. If one performs 100 Ashwamedha yajnas, then he is eligible to become Indra. So that 100 Ashwamedha yajnas can be done in one lifetime. But here, to become Brahma, he has to go through 100 lifetimes to follow all the regulative principles of Dharma uh, perfectly. 100 lifetimes. Then he will be qualified to become Brahma. In the material world, Brahma is the complete representation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and the transcendental sound, Pranava, comes from him. So Pranava is the Omkara. So it comes from Lord Brahma here. He is therefore invested with multifarious energies, from which all the demigods like Indra, Chandra, and Varuna are manifested. His transcendental value is not to be minimized, even though he exhibited a tendency to enjoy his own daughter. So there is a purpose for the exhibition of such a tendency by Brahma, and he is not to be condemned like an ordinary living entity. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So here, so Brahma is invested with multifarious energies. So whenever he is created, he created so many things, and he is the Pitamaha. He is also Pitamaha. Krishna is called Prapitamaha. He is before Brahma. And even Lord Shiva he respects Brahma like a father. So of course he came from the Brahma only, and it was given comparison like the Vamana Deva appeared as the son of Atidhi and Kashyapa. As soon as Atidhi and Kashyapa comes, Vamana Deva offers his obeisances to them. Likewise, whenever Lord Shiva was meditating in the Himalaya mountains after Sati Devi was in the Yoga Agni, she burnt herself. She brought the fire out of his body, and the body got burned. So during that time, he sent all his soldiers to kill all Daksha Prajapati and all his associates. Later on, he was in the Himalaya mountains just meditating. At the time when Brahma, along with all the demigods were afraid to go to Shiva. So they all went to Brahma, and Brahma, in the front, he went to Lord Shiva and then mentions so many things. At the time, Lord Shiva, immediately he stood up and then offered his obeisances to Brahma, just giving a comparison similar to Vamana offers obeisances to Aditi and Kashyapa. So likewise, Shiva considers Lord Brahma as his father because he has appeared from the eyebrows of Lord Brahma. So it has been already discussed in this chapter only. So here, Brahma is invested with multifarious energies, and all demigods like Indra, Chandra, and Varuna are manifested. So, and also sometimes with regards to this one, when Brahma exhibits that he has a tendency to enjoy his own daughter, sometimes we see in some great sages, great personalities, they might have done, but we should not imitate on this. We should not question why they have done like that. There is a purpose behind it. If we see, for example, so many incidents. So Ganga Devi, and she married to Shantanu. That is one instance, and of course there is a story behind it, and there is a story after that as well. She begotten so many children. That does not make herself make Ganga Devi that impure. So later on, there are different pastimes as well with Ganga Devi, and then Kunti Devi, and also Kunti Devi gave birth to Karna before her marriage, and we cannot question such kind of because there is a purpose. Here Brahma is exhibiting the tendency to enjoy his own daughter. Again, that is the purpose. So because immediately all Brahma's children were saying, my dear father, so we have never exhibited this kind of tendency before in the previous kalpas. Now, it is not according to the Vedic injunctions. The children are saying to Brahma. Later on, Brahma, he left his body and that body became into the fog, the white fog. So, and then he has accepted another body for the purificatory thing. Okay, so likewise, Prabhupada is explaining. So, he is not to be condemned like an ordinary living entity. So, he is the direct representative of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Brahma is the personal representation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead as the source of transcendental sound and is therefore above the conception of manifested and unmanifested. Brahma is the complete form of the absolute truth and is invested with multifarious energies. Okay, so that is from this shloka. So we shall move to the next shloka. It's the 49, it's a tiny one. Tato aparam upadhaya sasargaya manodhare. Tato aparam upadhaya. So thereafter, he has accepted another body. So as Brahma, he left his previous body, that is, which became the fog. Tato param upadaya sasargaya manodhare. That body which can be used to expand the progeny. So the sarga in the matter of creation, manha dade, manha mind dade, he gave attention. Tato aparam upadhaya sasargaya manodhare. Thereafter, Brahma accepted another body in which sex life was not forbidden, and thus he engaged himself in the matter of further creation. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So, in the former body, which was transcendental, affection for sex life was forbidden. And Brahma therefore had to accept another body to allow himself to be connected with sex. He thus engaged himself in the matter of creation. His former body transformed into fog, as previously described. So here, his former body is the which was transcendental, and affection for sex life was forbidden. So in the transcendental platform, there is no mundane attractions. It is completely spiritual. There is, of course, there is a different variegatedness is there in the transcendental platform, but sex life was forbidden for all the living entities. But of course, there is exceptions for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Those are different kinds of mellows on the transcendental platform. Okay, but here Brahma was the living entity, first living entity. And here his body was transcendental. So affection for sex life was forbidden. And Brahma therefore had to accept another body to allow himself to be connected with sex. This is the, he became the deity of the mode of passion. So he thus engaged himself in the matter of creation further. So this is from this shloka. So this is mentioned. Tato aparam upadhaya sasargaya manodade. Okay, this is a small shloka, not much philosophy here. But only the thing is, previous body was transcendental. Now current body is of the, which can be used to have, which can be connected to the sex, with sex. Okay, for the creation purpose. Shall we move to the next shloka? ऋषीणां भूरिवीर्याणाम् अपि सर्गम् अविश्रुतं ज्ञात्वा तद् हृदये भूयः चिन्तयामास कौरव. Rishinam Bhuri Viryanam. Rishinam of the great sages, Bhuri Viryanam with great potency. Even though Brahma has created all these sages, great sages with great potency, Api, in spite of that, Api Sargam Avishrutam, the creation was not extended too much. So Rishinam Bhuri Viryanam Api Sargam Avishrutam. So the creation was not extended, progeny was not expanding much. Jnatva tad hridaye bhuyaha. So knowing that in his heart, in hridaye, bhuyaha again, chintayamasha kaurava, chintayamasa. He began to consider Kaurava, O son of Kuru. So he was thinking again. So previously he created Sahajagre, Adita Mishra, Mahamoham Chamoham Cha Adnyanaha Tamaha Vruttayaha. So likewise, many other things created, he was again a bit dissatisfied. Later on, when he was asked his children creating the four Kumaras, they did not accept his instruction to expand the progeny. Again, he became dissatisfied. Later on, again, he was running behind his daughter. At that time, again, he became a bit shameful. So later on, now, even though he has been creating this one, Apisargam Avisrutam, it is not expanding too much. Again, he is thinking. So likewise, uh, how to expand this population, how to increase. Likewise, Brahma is thinking. This is the shloka. This just a thinking of Brahma only. ऋषीणां भूरि वीर्याणम् अपि सर्गम् अविश्रुतं ज्ञात्वा तद् हृदये भूयः चिन्तयामास कौरवम्. The translation for this, O son of the Kurus, when Brahma saw that in spite of the presence of sages of great potency, there was no sufficient increase in population, he seriously began to consider how the population could be increased. How the population could be increased. Okay, it is just only Brahma is thinking. So nowadays, if we see, our government is thinking how to increase the population. They only put some rules like, for example, India government previously there were people used to beget so many children. They have put the limits. So like one is cute and two is the limit. Three don't do it. So don't likewise they have limited the people to beget the children. Now again, because of the less population, people became used for it, and then only one children, and then there is lots of money and lots of food, but all food is getting wasted, and so many resources are being wasted, but no, there are no people. So likewise, now government is thinking again to increase the progeny. So likewise, Brahma is also now thinking, seriously began to consider how the population could be increased. So next we shall move to the next shloka. So what else Maitreya is saying to Vidura? So here in this shloka, Brahma is thinking, though I have been creating with all my complete endeavor and my potencies, but still the progeny is not getting increased. That means it is not my fault. It is only there is a divine intervention. Likewise, all by the Daivim, likewise, he is mentioning. So Brahma is contemplating like that. अहो अद्भुतं एतन्मे व्यापृतस्यापि नित्यधाम न ह्येधन्ते प्रजानूनं दैवमत्र विघातकम्. Aho adbhutam etanme. So Brahma is contemplating, alas, adbhutam, it is wonderful. Etat me. So etat this me for me. So this is Vyaprutasyapi nityada. Vyaprutasyapi, being busy api, though although nityada, always busy in creating the progeny. But it is very wonderful. Nahi edante prajanonam, nahi edante, and it does not certainly edante generate prajaha living entities. There is not enough progeny is being created. Nahi edante prajanonam. Daivamatra Vigatakam, and Daivam is so here Nonam, however, Daivam is the destiny by divine nature. Atra herein Vigatakam. So there is some interference, there is some disturbance here, Vigatakam. Some obstacles are coming not to increase the progeny. So likewise, Brahma is contemplating here. So how adbhutam, अहो अद्भुतम् एतन्मे व्यापृतस्यापि नित्यदा न हि एधन्ते प्रजानूनं दैवमत्र विघातकम्. So, translation for this shloka, Brahma thought to himself, alas, it is wonderful that in spite of my being scattered all over, there is still insufficient population throughout the universe. There is no other cause for this misfortune but destiny. But destiny. So everything, it is karmana daiva netrena. Everything is the maya dhakshena prakriti suite sacharacharam hetuna nina kaunte jagad viparivartate. So Lord says to Arjuna there in the Bhagavad Gita. And karmana daiva netrena, Kapil Bhagavan says again. It is everything under happening. So here there is no other cause for this misfortune but destiny. Brahma is thinking himself like that. Though in spite of he is creating everything, there is still insufficient population throughout the universe. So that means he is going to create later on the Swayambhu Manu and the Shatarupa later on, the first human beings. So now he is getting created all the rishis and many other things. Now all the knowledge, everything. Later on, so it was a time for to create the human beings, the first man, first human. And they will create this Priyavata, Uttanapada, Akuti, Prasuti, Devhuti. So those 5 children, and they will expand further. Okay, so that is the shloka, and there is no purport for the last 3 shlokas, 2 shlokas. So this is all Brahma's contemplation. I stop here, and I also request dear devotees, if you have got any questions to ask, kindly ask, or you want to share anything, kindly share. Hare Krishna. As soon as Brahma creates the human beings, these demigods and everyone, all the demons, everyone are appreciating Brahma. Aho etat jagasrashtaha sukrutam bhatate krutam pratisthitaha kriya yasmin sakam mannam adamahe. The human beings are created now. They are going to perform yajnas and sacrifices, and they will offer food to everyone. In such a way, they are appreciating Brahma. Aho etat jagasrashtaha sukrutam bhatate krutam. You have done very wonderful job. They appreciate Brahma. Okay, so it's a very beautiful thing. We would see that one in the later shlokas, later part.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Please can accept my humble obeisances. O go to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhuji. You explained so nicely, as usual. I learned something today that I'm sure everybody is doing that. We are connecting to the Lord through our prayers, through our singing, bhajan, and chanting. That's great, right? So thank you so much for explaining this. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. And here one part, so here Brahma is the sound vibrations at the pranava. Jiva Goswami mentions and the pranava, what is pranava? Om, Omkara is it is divided, Omkara is divided into Akaram, Ukaram, Makaram. Akaram Uchite Krishna and Ukaram Uchite Radha and Makaram Jiva Vachakaha. Likewise, Krishna, Radha, and living entities. They're all Omkara, part of Akaram, Ukaram, and Makaram. Those 3 combined together is the Om. So that is beautiful just to mention with the Pranava. Okay, thank you, Mataji. Okay, any other questions or you want to share anything else, dear devotees? Okay, so no questions. Okay, so there is not much philosophy here, but everything is Brahma's creation. So Brahma is trying to create everything. Likewise, sometimes everyone, human beings are creating skyscrapers, ant is trying to create a hole, and likewise everyone are creating something. Okay, everyone are busy. But one who is intelligent is tasya hetuho praiteta pavido nalabhyate yadbhramatam uparyataha. So there, talabhyate dukvad anyataha sukam kalena sarvatra ghabir ramhasa. Who is going to inquire about the supreme knowledge and the supreme personality of Godhead, who is source of everything. He is the intelligence. Otherwise, of course, everyone are acting in their own way, but they are influenced by the Supreme Lord. Maya objection prakritihi suyite sacharacharam. Okay, for everything, either moving or non-moving, for everything there is a reason. But intelligent person thinks that what it means to. So, and whether it is permanent or not, whether it is eternal or not, that is the intelligent questions. Okay, so there are nothing else to further to share, and we shall conclude our session for tonight, and see you in the next sessions. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनन्तकोटिवैष्णववृन्द की जय, प्रभुपाद की जय। Hare Krishna, conscious night,
Hare
everyone.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.